Hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today, bit of an interesting video. We have some transfer news to talk about, but also praise the Lord, but some news regarding our Aussie Celts. Before we go any further, though, if you guys are enjoying the I was going to say off-season content, if you guys are enjoying the regular content and you want to help support the channel, the best way to do so, click that like button and click that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow so much, and I thank you all for that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, as per reports from the Daily Record, yes, I know it is the Daily Record. It could be a whole lot of nothing, but still, we are going to talk about it regardless. Celtic are interested in, and I do apologize if I absolutely butcher the name, Saed Haksabanovic. Haksabanovic. That is an absolute awful name. Sorry, no offense, mate. But anyways, he is a 23-year-old contracted to Rubin Kazan, where his contract was freezed for 12 months. Then he went on loan into Sweden, came back to Rubin Kazan, and now he is looking for a way out. He's also appeared 18 times for the Montenegro national team. He's a good player, and let's get into it a bit more nitty-gritty. Let's see what kind of player Celtic actually will be getting here, or could be getting here, to be more precise. Looking at the table, or well, not table, but the graphic on screen, here you can see he is primarily a winger. He favours the left wing, but can play on both. His pros are his movement, selflessness, and crossing. By selflessness, I mean he is not selfish in front of goal. From what I've seen, he is always willing to pass to a better option if there is one available. If not, he will shoot because he won't make a waste of a good opportunity. But if there is a better option, he does always seem to find it out. However, there are some weaknesses. Firstly, he is very reluctant to use his weak left foot. Also, he has not got a wide array of skills, and by that I mean, he isn't Jota, is what I'm actually trying to say. And, you can tell he isn't Jota, and those weaknesses were very nitpicky of me. I really struggled to find some negatives about him because he does seem like he has got a lot of the fundamentals and a lot of the package that a great winger needs. Anyways, like I said, he does look like a player. He is still on the young side, 23 years old, but he has also played a lot of football for being such a young lad. I haven't got the statistic up in front of me, unfortunately, bad for me, but I can tell you he has played for at least 5 clubs so far in his playing career. He has played for West Ham, Malaga, Rubin Kazan, IFK, and Holmstead, and he's only 23 years old. That equates to at least 1 club a year, and I think there's even more in that as well, so that is not a positive that he's been moved around so much. But it could also be a sense of he just hasn't found a place where he is needed so much and that he is able to find his true form. Anyways, that's me getting sidetracked. What kind of deal would Celtic be able to negotiate here? Well, according to Transfer Market, he is worth around £4.5 million. His most recent transfer fee was £6 million when Rubin Kazan bought him, so originally, it was thought that that was how much it was going to take to bring into Celtic or any other club was to repay that £6 million. However, as I mentioned earlier, he is in fact looking for a way out of the club, and reportedly, the club has told him he is not part of their plans, so that fee could be dwindled down heavily, slashed in half even, or it could look like a loan deal with option to buy at the end of it. Now, regardless, would I want to see Haksbanovic at Celtic? Well, I openly speak on this channel about my desire for Celtic to sign another winger. Is this the lad that I would like to see Celtic sign? Well, he very well could be. He very well could turn into a player that is very useful for Celtic if at the right price. He is still a young winger, and while he may be a specialty left winger, which we already have 2 of them in the starting lineup, he would be coming in purely for depth reasons, which we all know and pretty much can all tell by at this point already. Now, both our left wingers at the moment, they don't seem to be getting dropped, so that further reinforces why I think he would come in as purely as a depth signing. And look, no one's going to complain about having quality depth. You could never have too much of it anyways, with Celtic probably playing upwards of 50 games this season, even more. almost definitely even more. So that's the way that goes. And look, if we get him for the right price, I would give him the boys an under tick of approval, but I would not spend anywhere over £4.5 million. I wouldn't spend anywhere over his transfer fee. I'd go under. It has to be under for me. I just don't see enough there to warrant the fact that we should be signing a player for depth for more than £4.5 million. Anyways, moving on into the second half of the video. Now, Ange's Aussie comrade Harry Kewell has been speaking to the great world of Australian media, Australian sports media. It's a jolly good show. And he has actually been speaking about his fellow Aussie comrade at Celtic, Aaron Mooy. Kewell, he has been here for 2 months so far. Aaron Mooy just overwon himself. But of course, the Australian media wants to know every little bit about how the two are going at Celtic, because it's big news. It's big news, and there is a demand for that news here now in Australia, and people want to know. So these media outlets have to deliver. So speaking to Fox Sports Australia, Down Under, it is Australia, Fox Sports, or whatever you want to call it, Kewell was nothing but praise for Mooy. He said, "I didn't play a role in that transfer, but what I will say with Aaron is Celtic have bought a fantastic player, a top professional. He works extremely hard. And then over the last, say, week, you can see his class just coming out about now. And players are really seeing what Aaron Mooy is really about. He looks in great shape. He looks strong. He looks powerful. His movement's good. His touch is excellent. He's training very well. So hopefully he can start pushing the team to make them push further. He's an important player for Australia. You've got to remember, he has played at the highest level, and his experience in past competitions is going to be priceless for the Australian team. So, it's important that he does well for Celtic, because if he does well for Celtic, then he's going to be right for the Australian team. So that is a great indicator from Kewell that Mooy is slowly returning back to full speed, and to a level which us Aussies know he can play at, and have seen him play it for Australia. And it's funny he mentioned Australia, because as we know, Mooy has been the reason Mooy came to Celtic was on the hunt for first team football, so he could get right before the World Cup at the end of the year. Now, that is great for Mooy personally, but what was the offer for Celtic? Well, Ange has been utilising him just how I thought he should be utilised. He starts on the bench, he comes on later in the match, fills in that CDM role, allowing McGregor to push forward if we're in need of a goal, or if we just need to settle the game down a bit. By no means, right, is he a Jota-esque player who is going to change the game all by himself, or Reo Hatate. Some would call him Mr. Reliable. Nothing fancy, gets the job done, there is no fuss, and he just moves on to the next game and to the next game, and he just plays it one by one. And sometimes you need those sorts of players, and Celtic have a squad full of stars, Jota, O'Reilly, Kyogo, Yaku Marcus, right? Some of the players need to take a back seat because not everyone can be the star of the show. It just doesn't work out that way, right? But look, from what I can see, Mooy has been as effective as he can be so far this season. And I'm sure we'll see him continue to be utilised in this substitute role. But also, as we progress further through the season, I'm sure we'll see him start in quite a few games at least. I don't think Ange will want to keep him on the bench every single time. But while he's still getting up to full fitness, which we have to understand is a process for someone who has played next to no football in the last 6 months, it will take him a while. But when he is up to that speed, I'm sure he will be a very useful player for Celtic this year. And I don't think he will disappoint anyone. It's not like he had high expectations anyways, but still, I don't think he will disappoint at all. But that is all from me. So if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on Saed Haksabanovic. I'm very proud I can get his name pronounced right. And yeah, until next time, hail, hail.